times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York, so you never leave. Strap my lungs, then we puffin' through with that right. But giving them some stories, they come back like manic this, manic that, why you crawling to me? The hell we
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to remove the steering wheel trim from your BMW E60. Now this is the M Sport trim. Now, as many of you guys know, mine is quite damaged, as I'm going to show you in the pictures. And also we've got the seal trim for the door, because this car for some reason has all the plastics a bit damaged because of all the retrofits it's had done. So we're going to be replacing all the little niggly bits on this car. So we've got the steering wheel trim in, and I've also got another airbag on the way, because the airbag, the BMW badge on the airbag itself has been pushed in. And you guys know me, I'm very OCD, I can't look at things like that. So therefore, I have got another airbag coming, which I paid nearly £200 for, just to have the badge intact and perfect as it meant to be. So we're gonna go out to the car and I'm gonna show you how to remove the steering wheel trim on your BMW E60. Okay guys, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do, as I know a lot of you are gonna tell me, is you're gonna wanna remove the battery, which is right here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna remove that negative cable. And we're just gonna place that out of the way. And as you can see, the IBS is disconnected because that was causing a battery drain. So we've now took that out. We're gonna end up sourcing a new one. We're just gonna move that here. We don't want it to go back on. So what we might do is just leave it like that. So now that's out of the way, and the electronics are unplugged, as you will see right there. So the battery is unhooked. We'll leave that down here. Make sure you leave your boot open as well. You don't want to shut your boot because you have no battery power to reopen it. So now we're gonna go to the front and start removing the airbag. Okay guys, so airbag removal, here it is. And what you're gonna wanna look for is, if I just get out, you will see there's a hole right up here. Now, that hole for the steering wheel right here is where you wanna put a screwdriver in, and you'll feel the spring. And as you push in, you should be able to release it, just like that. Now what you're gonna wanna do is, after you do this, you'll see here, which is right here, all these connectors. You're going to want to remove all these connectors to the airbag, which is the connectors for the airbag itself. So we're going to go ahead and remove them. Ground wire right here as well, which I just disconnected, which is right here. So now we've disconnected that, we're going to put that on the side. And now this is the trim we want to gain access to. So what we're going to do now is take off these Torx bolts here. Now I don't believe we have to remove the whole steering wheel to gain access to this. It'd be a bit stupid for the BMW to do that, and I know BMW are not that stupid to make you remove the whole steering wheel to gain access to these little Torx bolts. So we're going to gain access to these little Torx bolts right here and here to take off the steering wheel buttons. Be careful with the buttons, you don't want to break them because they're quite expensive, but they're not hard to get on eBay of course, but you still just don't want to break them, otherwise you have to leave your steering wheel like that. We're going to remove all these Torx bolts, and then we're going to take off this panel so we can take off this trim right here. There is nothing else to it, this trim just releases like that. And then what we're going to do is take this trim out and put the new one in. So this is the trim we're replacing today. I ordered a new part from BMW, so we are going to be replacing that with a brand new genuine one. Now this is the trim I just wanted to show you guys. This is damaged. A lot of you will say just clean it. You cannot clean that. I've tried, so I've had to order a new one of them. That's how OCD I am, to the point I have ordered a new one of them because I can't stand looking at that. And it's the same for this airbag right here as well. If you see, the button is all dented in, and I don't like looking at that. I know some of you will probably laugh at that because that's nothing, but for me that is, and that drives me insane. I have to look at that when I'm driving the car, so I can't have looking at that. So we are changing that over. Okay guys, so as you'll see here, these are the Torx bolts that we're going to be releasing, and there you go, there's one out and there's the other one out. So we're just going to grab them out by hand, turn them all out and put them up here like that. And as you see, this all comes loose, and what you're going to want to do is just pull up, try and be careful, and there you go, that's the trim out. So now what we're going to do is disconnect the trim from the multifunction buttons, so that's not going to be very hard to do, so let's do that. So what you're going to want to do is just disconnect it, which we have to do, which there's Torxes on the back of this, I believe. Yes there is. So what we're going to just pull out these connectors if we can, if not we'll just undo the Torxes, which are right here as well. There you go, that's one piece of the trim already removed. So we've got that removed now. We're just going to release this one as well. Right there. Just release that. So that's the multi-function steering wheel released. Put them screws up there. And now we're just going to release the other two. So right here. just thread them out by hand after you've released them. You don't want to over tighten them either because it will crack the buttons for the steering wheel. And the same for there. So as you see, that's all done. So that's all the buttons released. And there is your trim removal right there. So if you can see how badly damaged that one was, and we have got the new part. So I'm going to be showing you the new part compared to that part. So as you'll see here guys, I've got this part direct from BMW. It's a proper BMW part. It's not a second-hand part, it's a proper original BMW part. And it's actually brand new, because you guys know me, I don't do second-hand. So there's the new part, all nice and shiny, that we're going to be fitting to the steering wheel right here. We're going to be put that on the steering wheel, and then we're going to align everything up. Now, as you see there, we've got 4 new bolts, which we're going to be using to bolt up back to the steering wheel. So we are going to be using the new ones, not the old ones. So we'll do that like now. Okay guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to replace it, and we're going to put it back on the steering wheel. So I just want to lift you up so you guys can see everything. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab the multifunction steering wheel. We're going to put the little latches into here. We're going to bolt this up. We're just going to use the old bolts. There's no need to use new bolts for this, as the bolts ain't going to affect anything. So there we go, that's one in. Now we're just going to use the other one, put that one in as well. That one's in as well. So now that one's in, what we're going to go ahead and do is pop this one in as well, hold it in place while we just tighten it back up. So as you see there guys, now we've got that back together. So now what we're going to do is going to pop it back in. As you see, pop the steering wheel back in. Be careful not to break it as you're pushing it back in. You shouldn't break it. So now what you'll see there is you've got that back in. So now what you're going to want to do is re-tauten your normal little Torx bolts that hold the steering wheel, which was right in here. And we're just going to re-tighten that. And that's all done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the airbag back on, which you guys remember how I showed you. You can't get mixed up, they're all colour coded, so it's not something you can get even mixed up from. Just make sure you put them back through this, the connectors back through this plastic, which is right here, and you reconnect them the way they're meant to be, like that. And you're just going to want to reconnect this up. Just like that. So there you have it guys, that's the difference on the trim before and after. That was before, which is all completely damaged, and that was after the trim replacement. Now it looks like brand new. We've now got a new trim replacement. Now we've got to do is change that airbag, because as you see, that airbag sign's looking damaged. We are going to be changing it over, because I can't be looking at that any longer. So that's another thing. We've also got this, we're going to be changing this trim. As I told you, that's on the way from the same company I ordered this from. They only deal in genuine BMW parts, so I've got that coming. I've also got the IHK sensor coming, which you guys know is a common problem, is the AUC sensor. I've got that on the way as well from BMW. I thought, you know what, this car deserves the best. So I've even replaced the AUC sensor, something I didn't do on my other E60, but this one I've actually replaced it. It cost me £66 from BMW to replace that. It's not a major component, but I want everything to go green on this car, so that's the one thing we're missing. Apart from that guys, there you go, have it. That's how you'd replace the steering wheel trim on the M Sport steering wheel, which is what I've done. Okay guys, just remember as well, you just want to make sure you put your negative terminal back on after you've done that to replace, otherwise the car won't start. And a lot of you will be thinking you've done something wrong. Just remember to replace your battery. You've got to take it off to obviously not let the airbag have any kind of pressure in it to actually fire. So therefore we're going to put the battery terminal back on, and we've got to tighten this back up. So that's what we'll do. Another thing guys, if you're having battery drainage, remove this IBS sensor, because these are known to cause battery drainage. I've removed this. This was meant to have been replaced and brand new. This has been causing a high battery discharge issue, so I've disconnected it all, and I'm going to leave it like that because I don't fancy having any high battery discharge. This has got to go into BMW for the recalls, and hopefully they will sort that. And they better not plug that back in. They better sort this cable that runs underneath there to the boot, and they've got another load to do with the transfer branch, so we will be doing that as well with BMW. So there you have it, guys. I've just shown you how to remove the steering wheel trim from your BMW M Sport steering wheel, and also you can remove your airbag the same way if you're going to be changing your airbags. I know a lot of you always look to change airbags. That's the most common looked up subject, is how to change steering wheel's airbag or how to replace it. That will be there as well. Obviously it's the same situation, just replace it, but that's how you'd remove it. A lot of people are under the belief that you've got to remove the whole steering wheel to do this. You don't. As you've seen, I didn't have to remove the whole steering wheel just to replace the trim. It's ridiculous to have to replace that. The only time you have to replace the steering wheel is if you need to get to the SZL, which is the steering angle sensor, which is a steering switch column, which is all the indicator stalks and everything else. You need to replace that. Apart from that, you do not need to replace the steering wheel just to change out the trim. You also don't need to do that to replace the multifunction steering wheel. You've seen how easy it is. They all come apart very easily and they're only connected by connectors. So there you have it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This BMW Dr. Dean here. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you very much and goodbye.